we're coming along here. Everything's good. Let's go live. All right. Hello. Welcome to the Burn KC Wednesday WarmthCast. Um, there's no real other adjective that starts with the W for burns and fire. Believe me, I looked. If someone can prove me wrong, just leave a comment. But yeah, no, this show is a long time coming. Haven't done a Scorch cast in like 2 weeks because of trips and sickness and what have you. So it's been a long time coming. I'm happy to be back, and we've got plenty of video content coming your way this week. Obviously, I promised Saturday I would cover KU Iowa State, and then in its own separate video, depending on how that game goes, as well as doing the regularly scheduled Sunday Scorchcast. I'm not gonna try and get too much into what's happening this week, rather than just kind of summarizing what's happened over the past couple of weeks that I've been gone, which is quite a bit of stuff. I know that I've been writing some articles and everything like that, so hopefully that's caught you up to speed at least a little bit. But I'm here now and happy to be here, so let's get started. First thing I wanted to cover and get out of the way was the Chiefs. Obviously, Sunday's loss was a bad one. The Chiefs have never really played the Colts all that well. I think I've maybe seen us beat the Colts like 3 to 5 times in my entire life. Maybe more, maybe less even. I know those Peyton Manning years were kind of tough back when we were, not led by Patrick Mahomes. And then Andrew Luck came in and, kind of, did us dirty for a while there as well. Not talking about the Colts anymore, though, because I know that does trigger quite a few Chiefs fans, given the fact of the multiple playoff losses that we have against them. I'm sorry for bringing those up. I had to. We're talking about Chiefs Colts. Sorry. But let's talk about the main Chiefs concerns. Really, let's focus in on that. For the first time in a while, the defense isn't an issue, in my opinion. I think it's the best part of the team right now. Obviously, you have Patrick Mahomes, who, like, any given day is our best player. But the defense just looks more put together. They look more intense. They look like they're making better plays. They have more chemistry. I mean, all around, it looks like a better unit than the offense does right now. I mean, the offense really it really feels like they're sleepwalking through these past 2 games for sure. I mean, in Arizona, we had a great turnout, or not turnout, but a performance against the Cardinals. But it's really it in terms of offensive excellence, which is something Chiefs fans at this point aren't used to. I mean, back in the day, obviously, but not now with Patrick Mahomes. There's been heated discussions between Eric Bieniemy and Patrick Mahomes on the sideline. There's been a severe lack of hands on the part of the wide receivers, and even Travis Kelce. I mean, that drop that could have sealed the game was just bad. I mean, it was a bad drop. And obviously, he's not the only reason we lost that game. In my opinion, we absolutely should have lost that game because of how terrible the performance was all around. I mean, coaching, offense, special teams. Oh my gosh, we deserved to lose that game. And we didn't perform that well against the Chargers either. I mean, the whole reason I think we won against the Chargers is because we hurt Herbert and we hurt his offensive line. If Herbert was healthy and he had a healthy offensive line, we absolutely would have lost. And if they didn't drop those interceptions too. The offense just looks completely out of sync, and something has to change. Nothing as like reactionary and rash as firing Eric Bieniemy or Dave Tobe. I think they're both excellent coaches, and I think what Shady McCoy said needs to be taken with a grain of salt because he only played with the guy, Eric Bieniemy, for not Andy Reid obviously, but Eric Bieniemy for a handful of games, like not even a full season, and it's not time to push the panic button yet. But there does need to be some adjustments, and the cutting out of drama, I think, is the biggest thing that would get our offense back in sync. That and just building some chemistry. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes is dealing with a completely new wide receiver room. And just it looks like Travis Kelce is out of sync with him somehow, some way. I really feel like that connection needs to be revamped and worked on. And overall, it just looks like a unit that, by all accounts, is not very well put together. And that's something that we haven't said about the Chiefs in a very long time, which, I understand the concerns. Luckily, the rest of the AFC West, outside of the Broncos, somehow they won. Lost this week, so we're still in first. But it's very tough to watch this offense at work, or at least these past two games. And until the things that need to be resolved are resolved, which means making sure coaching and players are on the same page, making sure players are all on the same page, and just cutting out the unnecessary noise like Shady McCoy, like Tyreek Hill, like the media detractors. I really feel like it's taking an effect on this unit, and it doesn't need to. It shouldn't. You're in the business of professional sports. I understand that the media does have a voice. Believe me, they do. I'm media. But it's a matter of not listening to the naysayers that just want to naysay. And there's a lot of that going on in media. There's a lot of that going on around the league. You have one bad game and everybody thinks you're washed at this point, which is not at all true. Patrick Mahomes still has the best QB rating in the entire league right now. He may not have the most yards. He may not have the most touchdowns even. But he's got the best rating in the league for a reason. And that's because he's a dang good quarterback. In fact, I think he's still top 5 in passing touchdowns. And it's unbelievable that people continue to downgrade this generational talent because of what's been given to him. It's like saying Peyton Manning was washed after his first 2 years in the league. That didn't go so well. It's annoying to watch these people that have never been around football, that have never been around professional sports, that have never put a helmet on, To watch these people continue to downgrade Patrick Mahomes for trivial and un unevidence based reasons. Come on. I do think the Chiefs have to make adjustments, but it's not not necessarily Patrick Mahomes that needs to make those adjustments. I think he needs to build some chemistry with his receivers, and just make sure that he's giving them the right ball that they want to catch. But other than that, it's not Patrick Mahomes' fault. It's the fault of the organization. All of it. I mean, football's a team game. I continue to tell people this, and they don't listen. It's a team game. So that means every part of that team has to be at their best in order for the team to be at their best. If one cog in the machine does not work, it needs to be oiled. Something needs to happen to it in order to make the machine run better. That's basic knowledge. And until you do that, you're going to be running at a disadvantage. So that's all I got on the Chiefs for now. Obviously, like I said, I didn't want to really get into. Well, I guess I actually want to talk about the defense a little more. I kind of have to do this sort of quickly. I've got class at 7, so for my MBA. So I kind of have to do this sort of quickly, so I'm trying to divvy out the time a little better. But the defense has been outstanding, in my opinion. We're getting way better pass rush than we have ever gotten, really, since we had Justin Houston. We have a good secondary that just needs to limit the penalties, and I think they will turn into a great unit. I mean, we've got a lot of youth there, and need to get healthy too. Trent McDuffie, get well soon, man. And then a couple others as well. It's a way better unit than it was last year when we were starting Dan Sorensen and Ben Neiman. Update on them, by the way. Dan Sorensen's taken exactly 7 snaps for the Saints out of the 3 games that they've played, and Ben Neiman is on special teams. So do with that information what you will. But the defense is looking so much better than they were last year, and I'm excited to see where this unit goes as the games go on. I think they're the whole reason we were in it against the Chargers, and the whole reason we were in it against even the Colts. They gave up a game-winning drive, but that was mostly because of a terrible call of unsportsmanlike conduct. I don't know what Chris Jones said. It doesn't really matter, honestly. I've heard really bad stuff on football fields, and not that I'm condoning anything derogatory or anything like that, or something that's in bad taste, but knowing who Chris Jones is, I highly, highly doubt that it was anything that would warrant a flag. But that's not the whole reason we lost. A lot of people are pinning that as the whole reason we lost. That's not true. It was just a bad game overall, and we move on to the next one. So, speaking of moving on to the next one, though, let's talk the Royals, because they've made news for the first time in God knows how long. The Royals fired Dayton Moore. It was rumored that they would fire Matheny too, but I guess that's not happening as of right now. Probably just gonna go back and rethink the decision, given the cap hit given the monetary loss that would happen if they cut Mike Matheny. it's a tougher decision than what it looks like. I mean, I think everyone and their mother knows that he needs to be fired. Especially Cal Eldred needs to be fired. I'm not sure why he's still on the staff. Um, but Matheny too, and it's for the same reasons that he got ran out of St. Louis. I mean, he's got an archaic management style that just does not fit the game anymore, and it needs to go. Um, and just a complete revamping of the Royals is what needs to happen. Um, it's I've said this for a long time. I've said it at the beginning, middle, and end of the season. If this season did not go well, which it didn't, the Royals need to clean house. And firing Dayton Moore is a good step in the right direction, but there needs to be more done. Get it? More. I'm funny. But yeah, the Royals fired Dayton Moore. JJ Piccolo's taken his place as interim right now. Um, I don't see that lasting either. I think Piccolo might be gone within the next year or two as well. Depending on how next season goes, I guess if he's not fired by then. Um, but the Royals have a great young core, and I would absolutely hate to see it wasted by inept management. And that's been the story of the Royals for quite some time. Ned Yost years were good. They were excellent. Even I mean, we had two World Series appearances, winning one. That's as good. Well, not as good as you can get. You could be the New York Yankees and win like five in a row, but back in the day when plumbers played. But I mean, it's the best the Royals have had in a long time. I think Ned Yost and Whitey Herzog are on par with each other in terms of great management. Um, and it's just sad to see how the mighty have fallen and how long they have struggled since that World Series win. Um, and firing Dayton Moore is a step in the right direction, but it's not the answer. I think the answer belongs in just getting new management for this young new baseball team, especially down in the minors. In case you didn't realize, the Royals minor system is awful. Just constant, specifically the pitching staff. Um, there's just no pitching. I mean, Asa Lacy, Brady Singer, all these guys that were supposed to be generational arms have been completely ruined by the pitching staff down there and up here too. Um, the fact that we fired Dave Island and replaced him with Cal Eldred is a downgrade. Maybe we didn't know that at the time, but we sure as heck know it now. So, yeah, I think he's the next to go, and if he's not gone, you're going to tick off a lot of Royals fans. And then, of course, the Bali situation. There's a lot going wrong for the Royals right now, and frankly speaking, if they want a stadium within the next decade, maybe should do something about that fan base apathy. The Royals had the lowest attendance, not counting the COVID year, since 1975 this year, which is extremely embarrassing. I think you need to do something about that if you expect tax dollars to be spent on a new stadium. But that's just me. So, unless John Sherman's going to foot the bill for all of it, which in that case, dang, I wish I had that money. But also, that leave a pretty sour taste in a lot of Royals fans' mouths, which if something's not making money, then why own it? Just my thoughts. Um, so, moving on to the recent college football news. I really do hate to tell people I told you so, but let's look at the record for the Kansas football Jayhawks right now. And let's look back at the way too early rankings that I put up for Big 12 football. Now, I didn't predict Kansas to win the Big 12 championship. That would be probably a stretch. I mean, we'll see what happens this year. Just saying, Jalen Daniels is a Heisman candidate. He is currently third in Heisman voting, which is pretty cool. And also leads the nation in passer rating. So, also pretty cool. Oh, yeah, and has drawn comparisons to Lamar Jackson. Pretty cool. But anyway, as someone who considers himself to be a humble man, I'm not going to gloat any further. I'm not going to, again, tell people I told you so. But I'm just saying I called this back in June. Or maybe it was May even. I can't remember. It was during the summer at some point, early summer. But yeah, the Jayhawks are 4-0. They have I think they're tied for second now. I think after the Duke game, their offensive points per game, they got overtaken by someone. I can't remember who it was. But they're still top 5 in offensive production. The buzz around town is if Kansas wins this game, they'll be ranked. I think they should be ranked right now, though. Why do you say that, Alex? Why would you say something so absurd? They've only played the best team that they've played is West Virginia and la 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 la. Number one, because I can. And the best team that they've played so far, at least in my opinion, is Houston. West Virginia's pretty good, don't get me wrong. But Houston was ranked at the beginning of the year, at least. Obviously, they're not now, as they're maybe 2-2. I can't remember. 2-2 or 1-3. But they were in the preseason rankings pretty decently up there too, if I remember correctly. So that's something. But yeah, I get it. I mean, K-State beat Oklahoma, who was the 6th ranked team in the nation, and they're looking pretty dang good. So I get why they're ranked. But if they can be up there, Kansas can be up there as well. When you have teams like Texas A&M, who I think is 2-2, still ranked. The SEC gets such preferential treatment. I mean, you can even see it in College Game Day, too. A lot of people wanted the College Game Day at Kansas Duke. They put it, and, I'm not going to fault them entirely because it was a ranked matchup, to Florida, Tennessee. A game that's not even going to be broadcasted on ESPN. Make it make sense. Please, try to make it make sense. And I get it, like, neither was Kansas Duke. Kansas Duke was on Fox, but ESPN has gone so far downhill in terms of talent that they hire and the stories that they cover. It's unbelievable, really. There's a lot of evidence that supports that claim. I'm not going to say like, oh, would I sign a contract with ESPN in a heartbeat? Absolutely. Because as I'm doing this in my apartment kitchen, um, with my laptop camera. um, but I digress. Kansas football is good. Hashtag rank the Hawks, please. I mean, what a marvelous job Lance Leipold has done with this program to just turn it. I mean, the turnaround's complete. We've turned I think Lance Leipold has turned this program around and into the right direction. I think he turned them away from the cliff. Well, more getting out of the cliff than turning away from it. We've been off the cliff for quite some time when it comes to Kansas football. But it just feels different this year than in years past. And so far, it looks different than years past. So we'll just have to see. Alabama and Kansas were projected to go to the Sugar Bowl this year and face off against each other. So we'll see if Kansas fans get their wish when they say, we want Bama. Moving on to K-State and Mizzou. Oh, man. Mizzou, y'all got the worst luck imaginable. Oh, how did your guy fumble it in the end zone to lose in overtime? My gosh. The football gods must hate you. Well, really, the college athletics gods must hate you because your basketball team's terrible, too. I mean, I'm not saying your football team's terrible. They're average. But, I mean, golly, how do you choke like that? How do you sip that much on the Coca-Cola? Mizzou? How? It's unbelievable. I mean, this is what happens when your offensive strategy is to get the ball to Luther Burden, which, he's a great player, don't get me wrong. Get him a lot of touches, but don't give him all the touches. And again, after seeing Nathaniel Pete fumble that ball into the end zone, maybe that's a great idea. I don't know. But, yeah, Mizzou lost to Auburn 17-14 in overtime. It's absolutely heartbreaking if, I was a Mizzou fan. But Carrington Harrison making the comparison to Turner Gill really made my day. If you don't know who Carrington Harrison is, he's a host over on 810, and he's a funny guy. Go check him out, too. He's a Mizzou guy, so I don't want to give him too much credit, but he's a funny guy. Go check him out. As for K-State, that again, I knew from the get-go that Adrian Martinez, Deuce Vaughn combo was going to be deadly, and we saw it. Obviously, Kansas State had a hiccup against Tulane, which, Tulane's been a giant killer in years past. They've had a respectable program, not a great program, but a respectable one. They've done well in the American Athletic Conference, but they're still a group of 5 team that beat a Power 5 team. And, AP voters, I don't think really took notice of that, but I digress. Kansas has outside of beating, well, I guess Houston's not quite Power 5 just yet, but Kansas has had a better, outside of the Oklahoma game, Kansas has had a better resume. Let's be honest here. And yes, that includes the Mizzou game. Mizzou is hardly an SEC team. You need to go back to the Big 12, but no, they had to chase money, and they were good for those first couple of years. And then, crap hit the fan. I'm going to not continue to go down that path. I'll go on that path for a while. Um, but K State. Let's continue to talk about K State. As much as I hate talking about them too, but let's continue to talk about them. They look like the most complete team. The Jayhawks kind of get once the Jayhawks work on the defense at least and not getting complacent, I think the Jayhawks have their number. Um, but K State looks like the most complete team in the Big 12 right now, in my opinion. Um, they've got a great offense, they've got a great defense. And I think that the ranking is well deserved. Again, yeah, they got beat by a group of five team, but I mean, every program has its hiccups. Alabama's lost to the Citadel before, so do with that information what you will. Yeah, college football's fun right now. College football's fun again for Jayhawk fans like me. So, just to let you know, it really has not been fun since the Mangino era. We've been bad for a real long time, in case you didn't know. But I'm pretty sure it's common knowledge. Anyways, moving on to the KC Current. The KC Current finished top 4 in the league this year, in the regular season, and is moving into the playoffs with home field advantage. They will be at Children's Mercy Park. Let me clarify the date real quick. I saw it on Twitter about an hour ago. Let me clarify that. Oh, it was just up. Oh, there it is. Cool. When is that? 1 second. Okay. They're to be more specific, they're third in the top 4. Da, 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 da. It's looking like either October 15th or 16th will be the game day, but I don't see a time yet. Oh, nope. Nope. Not that. I'm not seeing a time quite yet. I will, I'll look at it later, and then I might tweet it out if it's out there already. Probably, well, I guess it's 2 weeks out. So, but yeah, they're doing pretty well. Same cannot be said for Sporting KC. Sporting KC is not doing well. Kansas City Current is, though. And they're the funnest soccer team to watch, and one of the funnest teams to watch right now. Give them a follow. Go watch their games. Women's soccer is so much fun to watch. It's way more fun to watch than men's soccer. Unless, like, you're in Europe, but you're not really going to get close to that atmosphere in the United States. A lot of United States chants are very recycled from European chants. But shoot, at least they're not racist. Whole different topic for another time. But Kansas City Current's doing really well, and I think y'all should get out there on October 15th or 16th and go support. For real. Let's try and break another attendance record. I'll do my best to be there as well. I'm hoping to be there. And I'm hoping to be cheering loud and proud for those ladies. They're doing great. So, go check them out. Now, speaking of the Current were nice enough to lend their training facility, their brand new state of the art training facility, I might add. It's truly beautiful. If you go get a chance to look at it, it's an awesome sight. I mean, it's spectacular. One of the best athletic facilities that I've ever seen, and I've worked in athletics for a while now. But it's sorry. The Blues went to that stadium or went to that training facility and took on Wisconsin and beat them pretty handily in the rain. So I somewhat understand why he didn't come out, but we still had a great crowd for it. I mean, the Blues are developing more and more loyal supporters with the guys that we bring in, and there's so much support surrounding this team, and it's great. That being said, the stadium complex that we're trying to build here soon, the Blues, I mean, the rugby complex, will cost estimated like $5 million, and we're going to need sponsors. So if you're interested, contact moi because I am the fundraising chair for the Kansas City Blues. So give me a shout if you're interested in sponsoring a great rugby program and really just a great program in general. It's going to do a lot for the youth. It's going to bring a grassroots sport up, and really just in time for the Rugby World Cup in 2031. And we could very well see another international event here if the committee is so inclined. And there will be more inclined if they see that Kansas City is a rugby hotbed, and it very well could be. We've got a lot of great high school teams. We've got a lot of great club teams around here, college teams. And it's a great spot for rugby. So just continue to support. After that little tangent, the Blues currently sit at third in the standings right now. Third in the divisional standings, just outside of playoff contention. Metro went to Wisconsin and lost. Mind you, Wisconsin's the team the Blues beat pretty handily. But they went to Wisconsin and lost. And if you remember, Metro beat the Blues 17-37. And really, that game was a lot closer than the final score. A lot closer, honestly. And it really reflects that if the Blues put in the work and put in the commitment to be a team to be reckoned with, which I very well think they can. Derek Pearson's a great coach. Go check out my interview with him. He's a great leader of these guys and will take these guys far so long as the guys commit and put in effort. And there's a lot of guys that do. And there's a lot of guys that want to see this team make the playoffs. And with a big win over Metro, we absolutely can. And with fan support, we could do that too. The game's in Minneapolis come October 8th. They have an off week, or the Division I team has an off week this weekend, but Division III will be in action against the Royal Ramblers of St. Louis. That's their D3 program. And that may be a proving ground for some of those guys that are right on the cusp of D1 and D3. And we might see some good competition. We already have seen some good competition for positions. and it'll be interesting to see um, what happens in terms of what happens October 8th. Um, but yeah, the Blues need a big win on October 8th. That's a big date for Kansas City rugby fans for sure. There will be a live stream of it. Go out, send your support to the boys. And like I said, if you're interested in sponsoring us, if you're interested in giving money to the cause, shoot me a message. I'll take care of you. Anyways, going to fantasy football. That's right, folks. We've got some BKC FFL updates from BKC himself. So let's take a look at the rankings. As much as I don't want to. And you'll see why in just a second. Oh, wow. Thanks, Miller. Go ahead and, if you can see it, look at that. Losing tastes good, but losing doesn't taste good, but Miller time does. Thanks, Miller. You're not my preferred cheap beer, but I appreciate the motivational words. Yes, I lost this week, and yes, you saw that record right. I am 1-2. The grand poobah of fantasy sports is 1-2. Oh my gosh, I'm not gonna win my own league. I'm not gonna win however many dollars it is. I think it's like $40. Yeah, 40. $40 that we've collected? That's a shame. It'll go to a good cause, though. Thus far... Okay, yep, go away, Miller. Thus far, let's look at the standings here. Let's look at the league. So, in the East, we have Tyler Merrigan, Team Mayor, 2-1 right now, in first place of the East. Then I have my mom, not too far behind, also at 2-1. Just the point differential's a bit different after I handled her last week, but then got handled right back by Tyler. She's also 2-1. My mom's pretty good at fantasy sports overall. I'd like to say I get the genes from her, but also at the same time, I know more. It's because I'm a nerd. But then I sit at third, 1-2. And the only reason I sit in third is because look at this point differential. My gosh. Look at this. If you can see it, because the ring light's very glaring. That point differential. Yeah, I tried. But for those that didn't see it, my points for is 429.5. I am the highest scoring person in the entire league. And I'm still 1-2. And I'm not even the lowest points against person. Or the highest points against person. How's that work? I didn't beat Mom that bad. Anyways. Courtney Merrigan sits at the bottom of the East with me. That looks a bit more understandable. Sorry, Courtney, you're doing great. Keep trucking. I know you got this. The West is going a little bit better. For some, at least. Clayton Merrigan, Average Joes, are 3-0 right now. With pretty good points for against ratio. I think so far Clayton's the team to beat. Um, we'll just have to see. I'll get into the, this week's matchups here in just a second. Then we have Steinleys, Aaron Leatherman, 2-1. Plowboy, my stepdad, Mike D. Donder, at 1-2. And then Brandon, my boy, 0-3 after some painful losses. That man's going through it. Send him some love because he's had some pretty painful losses. That points for and against ratio is the lowest in the league right now, or the lowest gap right now, and he's sitting at 0-3. So, yeah, pray for the man. He'll be okay though. He'll be okay. He's got a good team. He'll win a couple games. I promise. Who knows? He might even win the league and turn it around. But going into NFL Week 4 matchups, I am playing the Kansas City Steinleys. Right now, I'm projected to lose. We'll see if that changes. I know Justin Herbert's kind of hurting, but we'll see. Then we got Average Joe's versus Team Merrigan, a brothers battle, if you will. Much luck to them. Then we've got Brandon versus my mother. Good matchup there. We'll see who comes out of that one. Brandon's predicted to win. And also Tyler's predicted to win in the Battle of the Americans. And then we have Mike and Courtney Merrigan rounding out our list of games this week. It looks like Courtney's predicted to win. We'll just have to see how that plays out. Fantasy football is a cruel mistress. A very cruel mistress. And things could change in just an instant. I've known people that are analytics junkies that have had last place teams, and I've known people that don't know a single thing about football take first in certain leagues. So, again, it is extremely unpredictable. If you don't know a thing about football, I highly recommend even trying out fantasy football. It's fun, and it's free for most sites. You don't have to pay. Obviously, with me, I kind of want a prize pool for people. Maybe I'll do a free league and a paid league next year. I've kind of given that some thought. But right now, we're just doing the paid league just to kind of attract people. Obviously, 8 people's a pretty decent-sized league. But we may be running 2 leagues at once here. We'll see. Moving on, though, let me find my notes here. Let's talk some viewer comments and polls. I need to pull that up. Give me just a second. Okay. Where's my one notification? I'm not popular enough for that. Go to my archive. Okay. And if you didn't see my tweet thread covering what all I missed last week, go check it out. Got some things to say. I'm a very vocal guy, in case you didn't tell. Kind of. A little. All right. Okay. Whoa, we went way too far back. Okay. All right. Wow, really? Oh, no. Okay. Sorry. We're here. Anyways. I put out a poll saying, are the Jayhawks back in football? And the poll results reflect there was a lot of doubters. I put this out after KU beat West Virginia. And there's a lot of doubters in the KU program still, even after going 4-0. But we've got quite a few votes here, kind of even across the board if you can't tell from here. But, well, not really even. It's kind of bell-shaped. I'm sorry. I'm in business analytics, and I called that even. I'm sorry, Professor Safi. Just let it be known that I got a B plus on my first test. I promise I'm good at this. Good enough. But yeah, we've got 4 votes for perhaps. Wonder if any of those perhaps votes will change. And we got 44%. Or, jeez. Yeah, that's 4 votes. Sorry. Then we got 3 votes for nah, they're not back. Looking at a couple of these, I can understand why. I have a lot of K-State friends that voted in this poll, and a lot of just KU naysayers. And we have a resounding yes from one very smart person. I'll just leave it at that. It wasn't me. Don't look at that. But we got one of the Lowell Nope vote. And that was Ryan, a.k.a. Rhino, a.k.a. Radio Ellison, Arkansas grad. Is that just to, make the SEC feel better? Because you guys have Mizzou there? And Vanderbilt? Whatever. Okay. And then I put that up. But we had a comment here that said 6-6 this year, 8-4 next, undefeated the year after. And that's a climb. That's a climb for KU football. Obviously, you look at programs like UCF that went from being dead last and not winning a single game to going undefeated 2 years later. You look at those programs and you just wonder, man, what happened? And really, they just got the right coach. Obviously, he wasn't the right coach for Nebraska. It was Scott Frost. But, he was the right coach for UCF, and they're still not doing half bad. They're one of the better group of 5 teams. They're joining the Big 12, I'm pretty sure, which is kind of goofy, but maybe I'll get to go down to Orlando to cover a game. That'd be cool. I digress. But and then, we have another comment that says, as long as Nebraska stays away from our coach. I kind of think they're going to hire Bo Pelini again. This was the last time they were good. The last time they were respectable. That situation's a mess. And there's reports saying that they might hire Bill O'Brien too, which is not a good hire at all. He ruined the Texans. I mean, come on. And I get it, college is different, da-da-da-da-da. He still ruined the Texans. Anyways, I've got to kind of pick it up here. My class is in 10 minutes. I think that was kind of it in terms of, well, maybe, I don't know yet. Let me look at the website real quick and the Facebook. Oh, wow, I went live? No way. Why does it notify it? Why does it notify me when I go live? That's goofy. But anyway. Yeah. I saw 47 following, and I was like, oh my god, only 47 people follow me? No, that's just the 47 that I follow. Um, right now, my page sits at 130 people following me. Not that I'm special or anything. That was goofy, I'm sorry. Mom's saying great article. Thank you, Mom. Shares for that. More compliments. Thank you all for sharing your sorry. Thank you all for sharing your compliments. I really do appreciate it. Your generosity and your kindness does not go unrecognized. You guys are the best, and I appreciate each and every one of you that follow me and that have supported me through this journey of just pursuing a passion of mine. Kind of just from the ground up. I mean, I don't have a journalism degree. I don't have hardly any equipment. I just got a camera, a ring light, and then my mic that I've gotten within the past year. I mean, even that first episode, I'm not even sure if I had a mic. I'm not positive. I definitely didn't have the ring light to kind of, make me look less scary. But it's okay. Sorry. But my grandpa says for the Kansas Jayhawks at least, minimum 4 wins, and I mean they've hit 4 wins now. So I don't see them stopping anytime soon, especially if people are putting Jalen Daniels as a Heisman candidate. There could very well be a very different college football landscape by the end of this year. And it might involve Kansas. So, interesting. Sorry, I saw something on my phone. One second. Gonna check the website and then I gotta go. So I'm not running yet. I'm not running late yet. My entrepreneurship professor normally starts late anyway, so that's not a knock on him, mind you. As someone that also starts late a lot of the time, that's just an observation. Anyway. Talk.com. Is some of my teeth? No. Oh wow, a new visitor. Thanks, Wix. It's me, by the way. I'm the new visitor. Um, okay, so no comments on the website that I can see at least. So we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you again for being loyal listeners, watchers, readers, just enjoyers of my content. I trying to think of ways every day to improve this community. Not all that long ago, I was at the Frank Lloyd Wright Museum, and if you know anything about his mindset and his general philosophy, he's a big community guy, as am I. I've always been about getting you guys involved, getting your guys' opinions on things, because I know there's a lot of intellectuals out there. There's also a lot of non-intellectuals out there, but about 99.9% of you guys are intellectuals, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that about you, as I do a very non-intellectual thing and stutter. But seriously, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate you guys, and I work hard every day to um, expand this community, to build this brand that I have built for myself right now. It's obviously not that big of a brand at the moment, but every day it's growing. I mean, really, literally every day it's growing. I see a lot of likes, shares, follows. It it continues to grow, and I truly, honestly do appreciate that. I can't thank you enough. I'm eternally grateful for you guys just supporting. It's the dude trying to live out his passion. This grassroots DIY project that I've got going right now. Um, if you want to support further with money, I have a Patreon out there. I've got um, different avenues of support as well. If you're not looking to spend a whole lot of money, doesn't really matter to me as long as you continue your support and to just bring in new supporters to this community and new members to this community. I consider you guys members, really. Um, it's fine by me. I was throwing around some ideas. I am running really short on time. I'm sorry, but I was throwing around a few ideas about possibly starting a gaming channel or kind of a community channel, perhaps to reach out more to you guys to game with you guys. I'm probably going to start putting Scorchcast on SoundCloud as well. That's a good avenue to get people to listen more. You don't really have to tune in to my video necessarily, and I know that's kind of difficult for a lot of you. So I'm gonna try my best to get those on SoundCloud. Just gotta give it a little bit of time. Again, I just got back from a lot of from family time. I got sick, or not really sick, but just lost my voice. And just a lot of crap's been happening over the past couple of weeks, but we're back now, back better than ever, and I want to continue to improve. So just please let me know what you want out of me, out of the community, and I will deliver. I promise you that. So that's our show. Thank you for supporting. Again, this is the Burn KC. I will see you guys on Saturday. Thanks.